If you have a problem with your child just giving up, quitting, they don't want to do it anymore, you got to stay tuned and watch this video. I'm going to show you how to change that entire behavior. My name is Jennifer Waters and I'm the executive sensei at Seigler's Karate Center. I've been working with kids for over 20 years and I've been helping to transform their lives through the power of martial arts. Now the amazing thing is because I've been able to work with so many kids, I get to see many kids in many different environments. And one of the things that I've had to work through with parents is when their child comes up to them and says, hey, I want to quit. I don't want to do this anymore. Whether it's martial arts or football or swimming or even homework, kid goes, I don't want to do this anymore. I quit. And obviously they have to do their homework to get good grades at school. But regardless, the kid just says, I don't want to do this anymore. I want to quit. Especially the kids that are into things and they're like so passionate and the parent goes, gosh, I just don't know what happened. They just don't want to do it anymore. And I don't want to force them to do anything they don't want to do. And so in this video, we're going to dig into it and I'm going to show you the step-by-step breakdown of how to reverse that for your child so that they can set goals and happily achieve those goals to be more productive and satisfied in their life. Okay? So step number one, it's possible that your kid is burnt out, but it's not the same percentage that you would think it is. So a lot of times when people say, oh, my kid wants to quit something, they immediately go to, they must be burned out. What I find is that kids usually don't get burned out on something until they've been doing the same thing for years on end with no progression, with no challenge or anything like that. So if your kid is getting burnt out after only doing something for 8 weeks or 6 months, it's not that at all. What it is it could be one of two issues. So we're gonna go over what those two issues are. The first one is that your kid has no challenge. Like maybe they were placed in something that was so beginner level that they have no challenge and so they're saying, I don't wanna do this anymore, I quit. So you as their advocate have to constantly be looking and seeing where the challenge is. So not enough challenge is definitely a huge problem. The other problem is too much of a challenge. Maybe they're getting overwhelmed and so they actually don't feel confident in their ability to achieve something, so they say, I wanna quit. Now, the third possibility, people have told me this before and I've worked with parents on this as well. Your kid comes to you and says, I'm bored, I don't want to do this anymore. To be honest, when your child says, I'm bored, I don't want to do this anymore, it's a smokescreen. Because for kids, sometimes they don't know how to articulate what it is exactly that they need from you as a parent or they need from their community as a resource. So when your child says, I'm bored, you actually have to go in and you have to say, okay, what exactly is boring to you? And once you do that, then you can pinpoint, is it that they're being underwhelmed? Is it that they're being overwhelmed? Both will look similar. For example, if your child is being underwhelmed, and let's dig into this side just a little bit. If they're being underwhelmed, they might say something along the lines of, we do the same thing all the time. If they're being underwhelmed, is there room for improvement or is your child already at 100% mastery of whatever that thing is? So for example, if it's swimming and they're swimming down the swimming lanes and they've got the stroke down and there is no challenge, they're doing it to the best of the ability, they're hitting all their results in the areas and there is no additional challenge, then maybe the swim coach needs to bump them up to another level, right? That could be that underwhelmed process, like I'm not doing anything new, so therefore I'm not being challenged. And here's the other side of it. Maybe it's that they're not ready to do something new, but your child feels like they are. Well, that has to do with discipline. So is your child disciplined enough to stick with it to a long term to be able to actually get really good at something? You know, your child's not gonna get really good at something, they're gonna get average at everything. And unless you stick them in something and they stick with it for months, maybe even years. And this is gonna be character building. Imagine this, do you want your child to grow up and say, you know what, I really don't like it at this college or university, I wanna go over here to this college or university, they have better academics. And then a year later, your child goes, the academics are okay, but I wanna be there for the social life, so I'm gonna go transfer to this other college. No, you wouldn't want your kid to keep doing that. So we need to build those foundational elements now because they're gonna grow up a lot faster than you think. Now on the overwhelm side, if your child says, yeah, I'm really bored, and you ask them, what is it exactly that's boring to you? And you get the answer out of your child, well, I don't see the point. I don't know what I'm doing. Anything along those lines where the child is saying, I don't have competency in this thing and therefore it's boring, means that they're being overwhelmed. And you should definitely talk to whoever's conducting that activity. Maybe it's the teacher at school and you tell the teacher, look, the homework's very overwhelming. Is there anything that we can do, any additional help that we can get for my child so that It'll be easier for my child to work through this homework and be excited about doing school, or whatever area or category it is, right? So you want to always look at it from those two different spectrums. Are they underwhelmed? Are they overwhelmed? And then the next thing is, maybe your kid has a habit of quitting things. And it's okay. Sometimes as parents, we just don't know. We don't know as we're making those decisions. We just want our kid to be happy. We want them to thrive. But if we allow them to quit after just a few weeks, just a few months of doing something, we're telling them it's okay. It's okay not to work through the hard stuff. It's okay not to discuss that you're overwhelmed, and it's okay to not discuss that you're underwhelmed. And the reality is, none of those things are okay. It's definitely not okay that we have a society that's walking around today, our culture, that says you don't have to do any hard work, everything will come easy, and if it doesn't come easy, it's not worth trying. Because we know that real life and relationships, they don't work like that. So we can't set our kids up for this false belief, so as they grow up and they become adults, they inherit that false belief. We want to train them up in the way that they should go. So we want to be able to say, hey, life is hard, life is challenging, but if you work hard at it, it's easier. And this is how we can help our kids push through those barriers and be able to excel. You know, no Olympic athlete ever became an Olympic athlete by only trying something just for a few times. They did it after years and years of hard practice, and they got much better at their craft. Now, I'm not saying your kid needs to be an Olympic athlete, but I do think that every child should have something that they try to dedicate themselves to so that they can take that skill and then use that skill in the future. And that's actually why so many students that start a martial arts program when they're like 4 years old, they continue training all the way through until they're a senior in high school. We have so many seniors that graduate from our program from the time that they were 4, it's absolutely insane. And listen, if this is something you're like, man, I've got an elementary school kid, a middle school kid, and I really think that they could benefit from this and learning how to stick to something, all you have to do is go to our website, goskc.com, fill out the information that's on there. One of our team members will reach out, contact you, and you can actually just come in and see and discover what exactly our classes are all about, okay? Hey guys, until next time, continue being awesome, and I'll see you on the next video.